Thank you for joining us. I'm Dara Brown. Right now on News 12 New Jersey, the first nor'easter of the season. It has been a big mess along the shore as strong winds and the high tide pushing the ocean water farther inland. Meanwhile, communities deeper in the state are seeing power outages as gusts and toppling trees are knocking down power lines. We have your Storm Watch team coverage with Jim Murdoch in Ocean County, where the coastal roads have turned into rivers. Naomi Yane is at Newark Liberty Airport, where there is a ground stop. But first, let's get a check of the storm right now with Emmy Award-winning meteorologist Dave Curran. Dave.
Listen, we're going to be dealing with the rain. We'll be dealing with the wind for at least another 12 to 18 hours. But the winds are beginning to settle down just a little bit. I know it's not much consolation if you're at the shoreline because you've been dealing with this consistent and persistent wind for the better part of 2 days now. But the wind intensity is slowly beginning to drop. 30 to 35 mile an hour winds, gusts to about 40, but they will continue to slowly diminish going through the overnight. Showers will continue to pinwheel in off of the ocean as we go through tonight, but the intensity of those showers are also beginning to wane. So this is some good news. We're looking at some improving conditions, even though that secondary low is becoming the primary one, and that's just still anchored right off of Atlantic City. So this is going to continue to sit over the area. That tight pressure gradient continuing to funnel in those winds. The gustier winds for tonight likely going to be in northern sections of New Jersey. So there's that consistent wind of 20, 25 miles an hour, gust to 30, 35 as we get up towards Sussex and northern Passaic counties. Right now at the shore, winds gusting at Point Pleasant to 45, Barnegat Lights at 33. Forked River has a wind gust of 43 miles an hour. Beach Haven looking at around 36. We swing northward up the parkway into Monmouth County. Red Bank is at 40 miles an hour. Colts Neck coming in at about a 40 mile an hour wind gust. Asbury Park looking at a 43 mile an hour wind gust. Again, consistent winds 20 to 25, winds gusting between 35 and 40 miles an hour. Overcast skies. The cloud deck is about 800 feet off of the ground. We're still squeezing out some periodic rain showers. We've seen an okay rainfall, especially at the shoreline, but impressively up towards the northeast corner of the state. We had about an inch of rain there, which is good news because that's exactly where we need some of that wet weather. Our next high tide cycle coming in after midnight. Coastal flood warnings are going to be in effect until then, but it's not going to be as high as what we've seen, but still very impactful going into the overnight hours and tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit, Dara.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Well, along the Barnegat Bay, entire neighborhoods are underwater, and we have seen several rescues today. Our Jim Murdoch is live in Tuckerton, where high tide just passed. And Jim, I know you've been out in the elements all day. Have you been seeing any improvements?
The short answer is no. In fact, the winds feel like they've ramped up once again here with the gusts in the 40 to 45 mile per hour range. But it's just a constant beating of that 30 mile per hour sustained. It's just never ending now, more than 36 hours worth. Let's take a little walk. Photojournalist James Crow and I have been out in this all day. You can see the flooding here. This is Tuckerton Beach neighborhood. Another fire call is happening again towards the end of the road. We're looking down Green Street. You can see it all the way down there. And if we can show the one of the fire trucks right behind you, James Crow, we've got another high water vehicle and another fire truck trying to get down here. This was supposed to be starting to calm down. In fact, high tide was at 3:20 in this neighborhood. I think it's gone down maybe, and we're being generous, maybe 2 inches since then. We even saw fish swimming across Green Street here in Tuckerton. So let's show you some video from earlier today when conditions were the same. It wasn't any better. We were out on the Ocean County Sheriff's Department's on the Sherp vehicle. We saw folks actually trying to drive through some of the high water as the rescue trucks go past us right now. So just stand by as that goes past. One car, which appeared to be an Amazon delivery vehicle with a Texas license plate, was submerged and likely destroyed, but the water kept rising. And some people had to carry their pets out of their homes just so the pets could relieve themselves on dry land, because here in the Tuckerton Beach neighborhood, there is none. Every street here in this neighborhood, every single street is flooded and in most cases impassable. One car, which appeared to be that one car we actually saw submerged, and the only way to navigate was through those high water vehicles. We're told at least a half dozen people had to be rescued from homes and cars, and earlier we spoke with the sheriff's department and a local resident trying to make the best of a difficult situation.
What we're seeing is a lot of cars that are stuck in the middle of the roadways, and they're calling 911 for some help to get out of the middle of the road. Their cars are just completely filled with water. Came in through the doors. It's pretty high.
Is it worth living back here in the summertime when it's nice?
You know,
5 days a year you have this.
yeah, people ask us that all the time, but it's the price to pay living on the water. But in the summertime, there's nothing else like it.
And on that fire truck you saw now in the shot going towards the fire call, that is the Office of Emergency Management's director, and he told me earlier that this is the highest floodwaters in this neighborhood they have seen since Superstorm Sandy. So think of all those mid to late 2010s nor'easters that we had to deal with, and even a couple of hurricanes and tropical storms like Isaias and most recently Erin. This is the highest levels in this neighborhood since Superstorm Sandy, just to give you folks an idea of how bad this is. It's going to come down, but it's going to take some time. We're live here in the wet and windy Tuckerton Beach section of Ocean County. I'm Jim Murdoch, News 12, New Jersey.
Jim Murdoch, thanks so much for that live report. Well, now to Seagirt, all beach access has been closed as a local state of emergency has been declared until further notice. The declaration also prohibits overnight parking along the boardwalk.
So the message is clear to stay away and off of the beachfronts, up and down the coast. The tide is going to be the highest midday today, and as we can see, even middle of the tide right now, between low and high, that difference. So the message is stay off the beachfronts. Keep yourself safe.
Neighborhoods across the state still without power this evening. At the height of the storm, more than 7,000 JCP&L customers were in the dark, but tonight that number is more than 1,900, and more than 300 PSE&G customers are now without power. We did speak to JCP&L earlier today about the outages, and this is what the utility company had to say about reconnecting customers.
We have extra staff that are here, have been on the ground now since before the weather really started yesterday. So as soon as the outages are coming in, we are getting crews dispatched. They're getting out there and getting right to work on repairs.
The weather causing ground stops and delays for travelers. News 12 New Jersey's Naomi Yanni is at Newark Liberty Airport with the latest. Naomi.
Yeah, Dara, we're at the tail end of this nor'easter, and hopefully we won't be feeling the effects of it for much longer. But until then, we're still seeing issues like ground delays, like here at Newark Liberty Airport. I'm going to have my photographer, Sabrina Silva, just show you some of the delays that we're seeing out here. As we take a look at the departures and arrivals board, we're seeing some delays out there across the terminals, right now, all three of our major area airports are experiencing a ground delay because of wind. And of course, that happens when the FAA holds flights on the ground at their departure airports to prevent the arrival airport from becoming overwhelmed. And as we know, Newark Airport has had issues with that throughout the summer. Now, at last check, here at Newark Liberty, there was a delay of just under an hour and a half on departures to Newark. We're also seeing delays on flights out of Newark, starting at anywhere from about 30 minutes.
They delayed like an hour, so I don't know. We gotta wait. We can early. We're leaving at 9, but they say 10, so I don't know what time supposed we gotta leave.
So as of about 5 o'clock, we're seeing delays, about 291 delays, so just under 300 delays, and then 12 cancellations. But for now, at Newark Airport, Naomi Yanni, News 12 New Jersey. Dara, I'm going to send it back inside to you.
Great, Naomi, thank you. And as the storm continues to move through the area, be sure to keep it locked on News 12 for all your weather coverage. You can follow us on air, online, and even on our News 12 app. Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill is standing by her comments, holding opponent Jack Ciattarelli responsible for his company's role in the opioid crisis. Gains across the board on Wall Street today. The Dow up nearly 600 points, the Nasdaq nearly 500, and the S&P adding 102 points today.
It was supposed to be a lifeline, a law passed to help trafficking victims escape.
That one number, that one QR code, you saved somebody's life.
But what if we told you the law is being ignored?
So you weren't aware that the hotel wasn't following the law?
Children trafficked, survivors silenced, victims abandoned because no one is watching.
It's a significant failure.
A shocking two-night News 12 turned to Terra investigation. Trafficking in the Tri-State. Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.